Good morning again, everyone. We are back. While we are currently watching and awaiting for President Trump again to address the nation, we are back with the latest breaking news, so you do not want to miss this one, guys. This is out of Breitbart News, where the article here reads, Iran claims it's not seeking escalation after attacking U.S. embassy and bombing American troops. Well, oh, really, guys? Well, let me ask you a quick question, everyone. I mean, do you think General Soleimani was in Baghdad on vacation or whatever? Absolutely not. President Trump even said it yesterday as he was addressing the press, as Soleimani was in Baghdad speaking with many of his militiamen there, planning more attacks on Americans as we speak who are currently in Iraq. But of course, President Trump did what he had to do by eliminating the threat and taking General Soleimani out. But of course, as many of you may already know, Iran has retaliated last night by launching 15 ballistic missiles into Iraq, striking 2 military bases there. However, though, again, the good news is no personnel are reported to be injured at all. So that is the best possible news ever, guys. But moving on here, the article further reads, guys, Iran this morning claimed it's not seeking escalation or war after crossing all red lines by sending militias to attack our embassy in Iraq and now launching ballistic missiles at U.S. forces. Well, this should be good, guys. The news media has been largely painting the ballistic missile attack on 2 military bases in Iraq as retaliation for the elimination of Iranian terrorism commander Qasem Soleimani, forgetting Soleimani was terminated after unforgivable assault on the U.S. Embassy and while reportedly plotting imminent attacks on Americans. Well, we do know from what sources have stated, including as well as the Pentagon, if I'm not mistaken, that these attacks against Americans there in Iraq were imminent, and President Trump did what he had to do to eliminate the threat, guys. But of course, we do know as well that some Democrats are actually upset. We've seen that traitor Ilhan Omar tweet that we are outraged. Well, for one, I don't know who we are because I'm certainly not one of them, to be honest with you. This is the same woman who stated when questioned about 9/11 that some people did something. But I got news for you, Omar. I guess some people did something when it came to General Soleimani, I guess. But hey, anyways, guys, moving on. The article further reads here, Javed Zarif, foreign minister of Iran, the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, tweeted the following. Iran took and concluded proportionate measures in self-defense under Article 51 of UN Charter targeting base from which cowardly armed attack against our citizens and senior officials were launched. We do not seek escalation or war, but we defend ourselves against any aggression. Well, you guys shouldn't have not been trying to attack Americans there in Iraq, or General Soleimani should have not been trying to order his militiamen to attack the U.S. embassy there in Baghdad. You guys are forgetting that this is not President Obama in office anymore. We have a backbone back in this country, and this is not going to be another Benghazi, as President Trump himself clearly stated as well, guys. But moving on, the article further reads here, Zarif's misleading statement makes it seem Iran is a victim. Of course, it's obvious they're trying to play the victim role here, defending itself against unprovoked U.S. aggression. In reality, the U.S. in recent months has shown remarkable restraint in the face of continued Iranian war, postponing whatever, you know what I'm saying? But of course, it wasn't too long ago that Iran shot down a U.S. military drone there, they're flying over Iran or wherever it may have been, looking to collect intelligence or whatever it may have been. President Trump did nothing. So, it's obvious that we have been very patient with Iran, but this has gone on too far when Iran's General Soleimani ordered his militiamen there to attack a U.S. embassy in Baghdad again. But of course, President Trump stepped to the plate and again eliminated the threat by taking Soleimani out, as well as a few other of his comrades as well outside of the airport there in Baghdad. But of course, I will be leaving links in the description box below where you can read further into this yourself, guys. But I find it awfully funny how Iran is now trying to play victim and claims that they do not want to further escalate things there. But it's Iran who started this whole thing to begin with, and now they have the nerve to sit there and try to play victim, guys. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up, guys. But moving on, of course, Let's see, what do we have here? This is more breaking news, guys, where I'm sure many of you may have heard about the plane that crashed there in Iran last night. Of course, from what sources are indicating, this is supposed to be some kind of a engine failure which caused this plane to crash, killing 176 people, including 63 Canadians, from what our understanding is at this time. But the article here reads, guys, 3 British citizens and 63 Canadians are said to be among the dead after Ukrainian passenger flight crashed minutes after departing from an airport in Iran, just hours after rogue regime conducted a missile strike against American military targets in Iraq. But from what the article here further reads, again, our thoughts and prayers are with, the family of those who tragically lost their lives during this tragic event in Iran, again with this plane crash. But the article here reads, a total of 176 people died after a Ukrainian-owned Boeing 737 crashed just 8 minutes after taking off from Amman, International Airport in Tehran in the early hours of Wednesday morning, killing everyone on board, according to the Ukrainian Minister of Foreign Affairs. The victims are by nationality were 82 Iranians, 63 Canadians, 63 Canadians, and 11 Ukrainians, including 9 crew, 10 Swedish, 4 Afghans, and 3 Germans, and 3 British as well, guys. But of course, again, this is a terrible situation, guys, given the situation right now. But the article further reads, before we move on, guys, the Ukrainian embassy in Iran initially blamed engine failure for the crash and denied any terrorist involvement. However, the embassy later reacted and statements saying that all options are being considered, reports by the Telegraph at this time, guys. But this is what we do know as of right now. A total of 176 souls on board have tragically lost their lives in this Ukrainian-owned flight crashed in Iran there. But of course, again, our thoughts and prayers are with those that they leave behind at this time. We're going to continue to do our very best to monitor this. And again, I will be leaving links in the description box below where you can read further into this yourself, guys. But with that being said, if we happen to have any more breaking news, we will do our very best to bring that to you. Again, with that being said, I am your host, Chi-Town Zone. Please do feel free to subscribe and be sure to hit that little notification bell. And with that being said, God bless and do stay tuned.